Hi, it's Paul Markham here. I've been asked to do a starting video for the DKW. DKW, there you go. This is a 1959 F94 four-door sedan. It's pretty rare in Europe, although there was quite a few more of them in South America and in South Africa, where this one came from. Being a two-stroke and with a very, very weak fuel pump, if you don't drive them regularly, you can have issues in getting them started, simply because all the fuel will run back down into the petrol tank, and the carburetor will be dry. So I'll show you what I tend to try and do when I've got a car that I haven't started for a little while, and what I do to get it running. And there's the engine, 3-cylinder 900cc two-stroke motor, and over here you'll see the carburetor. Now just down here is a little bit of a dodgy fix that I've done, and it's, I think, fairly common on some of these older vehicles. This is just a squeezy fuel pump that you can pump, and it'll push petrol or suck petrol from the petrol tank at the back of the car and put it into the Solex carburetor here. Another thing, if the car hasn't run for a while, I would always take off the air filter just to give a bit more air into the carburetor there. Okay, now the advantage again of having one of these like squeezy pump things on here is that when you squeeze it, you can feel whether there's fuel in the line, and I can feel that it's nice and plump, so there is petrol in the fuel line, and it will have just gone through into the carburetor right now. So let's go and see if it starts up. Alright, so there is the instrument panel and the keys. We turn on the ignition. There we go. Round on the other side, you can't see it, but there is a, let's go through actually. Round here, there is a choke. So you can pull that out a little bit. Only do it when that's cold, or the engine is cold. Now, the ignition is just here, and it's press start. Whoop, there we go. That's probably a bit unfair because I did actually drive it last weekend, so a week ago, and it does tend to start pretty well if it's been run within a week. There's the engine there. You can see here much better the pump. The manual pump that I put on there. So now that's all going well, so I'll just get the air filter and pop it back on. You immediately notice that it calms right down. There's a lot quieter when the air filter goes on. Now sometimes that isn't enough, and then we have our emergency measures. Emergency measure number one is start your bastard. It's a really, really, really handy item for classic cars. Basically it's just ether, and if you were to find that you couldn't get the car to start because it was just not getting through and maybe just not really working, you can spray that directly into the carburetor. Now, I'm not going to do that because the car is running all right, and you really shouldn't do that too often, but if the car is really, really hard to start, this will always at least get the ignition going, and then usually it sorts itself out once it's begun to fire. So I hope that was mostly helpful to the couple of you that have asked me about how to get my car started again after it hasn't been running for a while. Let me know. Yeah, if you need any other advice, just message. Thanks.